Welcome to the multi-part series, How I Repaired My Home Radiant Heat Boiler. The heat went out in our house. I'm going to show you how to repair it. The first thing we're going to do is identify the radiant heat boiler components. As the fall temperatures started to drop, we noticed our heat not kicking on, and so we went to turn it up. No activity from the boiler at all. So the first thing to do is to check the batteries in the thermostat. If it's not hardwired, make sure it's still operating correctly. Ours were all operating correctly. So the thermostat tells these zone valve control solenoids to kick on, thus activating each zone. This is what it looks like when it's actually calling for heat. In our case, they were not calling for heat. There was some sort of system override preventing it from turning on. But you can see here the supply and return manifolds along with the zone valve control solenoids. And when I turned the breaker off and waited for about 30 minutes, then turned it back on, the boiler would kick on. Indicating that we do have some functioning components. In this case, I have a New Yorker boiler, model number CG40 CNI. Even if you have a different model boiler, a lot of these principles will hold true. The power reset did not solve the problem. We need to ask ourselves why. Some components down here is the blue igniter wire. That's what turns it on. The green ground wire for the ignition. Over here is a gas valve, controls the gas on and off. The control board to the entire unit, mounted on the side. Down here at the bottom near the flames, we have a flame rollout switch, which is a fire preventative switch. If the flames were to backfeed, it would shut the machine off. Inside, just above that, kind of away from the flames, is the power transformer, which converts the power into usable power by the boiler. We also have a high limit switch on the plumbing. If the water/glycol in the radiant heat system gets too high, this will actually turn off the entire system to prevent overheating in the plumbing and it boiling out of control. Similarly, we have a manual high limit switch on the vent. In case any of the ventilation air gets too hot, as if it were blocked or something, this will also turn the machine off. So there's a couple points of failure we need to look into. After resetting the breaker and getting the machine to run, I quickly turned it off via the switch and then turned it back on quickly with the switch, just to prove that everything could turn on and off in control, which indicates that the transformer, igniter, gas control, and control board appear to be working correctly. Now, after I do this, the boiler runs for about 10 to 20 minutes and then will not run at all until I actually reset the breaker, wait for everything to cool down, and then hit the breaker back on. So to me, this says one of the high limit switches or one of the safety features is preventing the system from running because it's recognizing a problem. I originally thought it was the flame rollout switch. It's a very cheap component. I thought it was getting too hot and it failed because it looked burned. So I'm going to turn everything off and I'm going to replace that flame rollout switch. If you found this content helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next parts of the series.